How to Spot Suspicious Behavior and How to Address It by Maggie, Ryan, Dillon, and Javier.
Our group has narrowed down suspicious behavior into 4 categories: verbal, physical, appearance, and body language. For verbal suspicious behavior, you have blatant lies, secrets, other strange responses. Blatant lies could be just sometimes you catch people in a lie that is just completely obvious. And it makes you anything that makes you raise your eyebrow a little bit. Just like anything that's out of the ordinary, like not a normal response, just like that could cause suspicious behavior. There's physical awkward touches, especially from a stranger. So if you're talking to somebody that you just met for the first time, just them touching you at all, it just kind of throws off to some suspicious behavior. Really, random people shouldn't be touching random people for anything, in my opinion. It's just a little strange. And then you have appearance, of course, is what they wear for their clothing and their jewelry. Trench coats. Of course, you shouldn't be labeling people in religions. They don't. Not everybody wearing like a covered face or covered body should be considered suspicious. Just obviously, if they have like a ski mask on and a trench coat, you should be looking out. And of course, last is body language. You have your body movements, posture. If you have someone walking a little bit funny, like with an itch, or you see someone looking car to car, like looking in the windows, it's a little bit suspicious.
While at work or in public, it is important to be aware of many things. Whether you are working in retail, an office, or teaching, being aware of people around you is important not only for your own safety, but for others as well. Body language is important to be aware of. Now, keep in mind, body language does not always mean there is something suspicious going on. Some clues can be given by other people's body language. For example, people who avoid eye contact may be potentially lying. Wearing large clothing or carrying large bags can indicate the individual may be hiding something. Being aggressive to other people can indicate potential blackmailing or manipulation. People with awkward body language, such as being nervous, blushing, sweating, and stuttering, could indicate potential danger. When at work, people having to work past the allowed time should be monitored to figure out what activities they are engaged. Now, remember, the Department of Homeland Security suggests, open quote, factors such as race, ethnicity, and or religious affiliation are not suspicious. The public should only report suspicious behavior and situations, ergo an unattended backpack or package, or someone breaking into a restricted area, end quote. Many companies have different policies regarding suspicious activity at work. For example, Sally Beauty Supply, the nation's leading retailer in beauty supply products, suggests to always be aware of your surroundings and remember what the subject looks like. For example, if you see a person taking merchandise from a shelf at the place you work at, it is important for you to be aware of their appearance. Noticing the way they are dressed and what they look like will help identify the person in the future when it comes to reporting the incident to either security or to your local authorities. Follow your company's policies on how to report any incidents of theft or potential danger to other people. If you believe it is possible there is unusual activity taking place yet have no proof, some companies either require or suggest for you to fill out a suspicious activity report or unusual activity report, SAR or UAR for short, respectively. Remember to describe in detail the situation. According to the Department of Homeland Security, you can use the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. And picture your surroundings. Try to remember what was going on, were there any other events taking place, and what other people were doing on that day. In slide 7, we'll describe an easy to remember acronym to remember what was previously discussed.
John sees a customer that has a gun in his pocket. If John is a security guard or just a regular, ordinary employee, he probably feels uneasy that he saw a customer with a gun in his pocket, because you don't know if the customer is going to create a scene or be overreactive. And another example I have, Melissa saw her coworker steal apparel. So what Melissa doesn't know whether to tell her manager, or she probably she knows that she should tell somebody, but she doesn't know who or just in general, like, it's an uneasy thing to go through because she doesn't want to, be a tattletale and tell somebody. In these scenarios in the workplace, you should tell your manager if you experience any of these and see any of these in the workplace, or call your company's hotline or risk. Risk is another type of hotline. Okay. How else to approach it? In the workplace, you follow your corporate policies regarding the incident. So you follow basically whatever your work says for you to do based off those incidences. You can look at the security cameras, and so that way there's proof that it happened. You can ask or confirm with other witnesses that might have been there. So you could ask, John could ask Melissa if they were in the same place, to be each other's witnesses for both scenarios, if possible. And another comment I would say, don't try to be a hero, because you could get yourself hurt. That's why you take it to the authorities, or you take it to a manager or someone higher up than you.
The acronym SALUTE is critical for spotting suspicious activity in public. Each letter is a clear representation of a word that will help any individual succeed for spotting suspicious behavior. Let's start with S. S is referring to size. When conducting a police report, being able to specify the exact number of people, ages, gender, and physical description is imperative. We will use this incident of a male conducting suspicious behavior at Walmart. For example, police officer asks, "What did you observe about this individual?" Witness: a gentleman that looked to be 6 feet 4 inches tall, Caucasian male with blonde hair, brown hoodie with baggy khaki pants, and noticeable tattoo on the face, kept approaching younger women while constantly looking back and forth as if he was avoiding surveillance cameras. A stands for activity, being able to specify what the individual is doing in terms of activity. For this case, we can denote the activity as a suspicious male approaching young women while staying on the outer areas of the store. L, location. Where is this occurring, or where did this happen? The witness stating that the incident occurred at the Walmart over off I-10 and De Zavala Road near the Who Hot Grill. U, uniform. What are they wearing? The suspicious male at Walmart is wearing a brown hoodie with baggy khaki pants. T, time. Provide the date, time, and duration of activity. For example, the witness provides information that the male began suspicious activity from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:46 p.m. The witness also states that today is August 3rd, 2019. The last one is E, equipment. Describe vehicle, make, color, etc., license plate, camera, guns. So for this example, the male was driving a 2004 Toyota Corolla. His license plate number was HYT342. The male also had a noticeable Bowie knife on the side of the hip.
All right. So here are some key topics that will guide people to spot suspicious behavior. Number 1, look for suspicious behavior. Now, mind you, this can take place both in public or at a work setting. The example we are provided with takes place in a restaurant setting. This is more common than people think, especially in the restaurant industry. The chef notices the gentleman should not be in a particular area, especially when it's closing time. As the suspicious male makes it more obvious by excessively whistling and constantly looking back and forth, the chef now can officially confirm potential suspicious activity, considering this is not normal for this particular environment. Number 2, recognize the suspicious behavior. So this is basically being able to recognize suspicious behavior is crucial, okay? Remember in the slide before, we used the term salute. S stands for size. Size meaning being able to jot down the exact number of people, gender, ages, and physical descriptions. A as an activity. Remember, describe exactly what they are doing. L, location. Provide the exact location. U, uniform. Describe what they are wearing, including shoes. T, as in time. Provide the actual date, time, and the duration of the activity that took place. And E, equipment. Equipment is actually referring to the vehicle that they were driving, the color, the make, the model, the license plate, the camera, what weaponry they had, guns, etc. Another key thing that often is neglected is body gestures. So if a person is hunched over with a hoodie in Walmart at midnight, this could lead to generating assumption for suspicious activity. Understand it is number 3. Understand what someone is doing and why they are potentially doing it. Remember, police reports require a thorough explanation and may even require thoughts on potential intention. For example, Tanya lives on the northeast side. One day, Tanya was hanging out on the porch with her friends. The local high school softball team gets out right around 4:40 from practice. Most of the softball team lives on the same street as Tanya. Since the school is only 5 minutes away, the softball players usually just walk home. Now, Tanya begins to notice a green truck driving rather slowly through the neighborhood. As soon as the group of girls began to split up, the truck would drive very slowly to each girl. Tanya knew that something wasn't right. Tanya also spotted the girls beginning to flee away to their homes as if they were running from something. Tanya calls the police and police eventually arrive at her house. Tanya states that a man driving a mysterious green truck that she's never seen before kept approaching the girls from the softball team. She understood that this was the act of a potential sexual predator. Okay, that's extremely important because in actual police reports, the actual officer is going to ask all these important questions and being able to, and if actually finding the person too, being able to charge them with the intention of sexual activity against a minor, things like that. So being able to kind of associate and connect what the initial actions were from that individual is also extremely important. Okay. Now the last thing is report it. And whatever you do, don't ignore it. It's better to be safe than sorry. The ability to spot potential danger and prevent something from happening can't be emphasized enough.
How to approach suspicious behavior in public. There's a number of things that you could do. For the first thing is just recognizing that you're your own person. You're not working for a company. You don't represent anybody but yourself. So just use discretion and common sense. Don't try to get yourself hurt. If you see someone has a weapon, or they might have a weapon, or just a gang of people, you shouldn't probably approach them no matter what they're doing. Best thing to do is just always call the police. It's their jobs to handle things like this. You don't want to take matters into your own hands, really ever, unless you have to. And if you have to, just make sure that someone's around nearby as a witness. You're not by yourself or alone. And just always make sure you call the police, because no matter what, that they'll be on the way. If you don't call them, they'll never know about it, and something bad could happen. Even if you see a car swerving from lane to lane, that might be suspicious behavior of someone drunk driving. You need to call the police immediately. It might save someone's life. Someone could get seriously hurt in situations where people aren't even thinking about, and you are one of the people that could stop them. In conclusion, we have taught you the types of suspicious behavior. You have physical, verbal, appearance, body language, how to recognize those types. So what people do to set off red flags that catches your eye a little bit, how to act whenever you see it. So whenever you're in a workplace or in public place, we have taught you what to do in those situations. No one really knows what they would do in these situations when they're faced with it personally, or when it actually happens to them. I just hope that this presentation will better prepare you in the future in case any suspicious behavior does come across your path.